Because where are they going to argue this once it does go to trial? How are they going to take this? Because essentially, in the statement that was made a couple months ago now, basically stating it was Lori, I was, basically, I'm just paraphrasing, brainwashed. I was doing whatever she wanted. So was Alex. Basically admitting to the crime in that letter, but in saying it was Lori's idea, though. What are you arguing in court then? I mean, what are you saying? I mean, you were part of this. You did it. It was Lori's idea. We're trying you for the murders themselves. You just kind of admitted to doing and being a part of the murders. Isn't that just a straight up admission of guilt? Game over at that point?
In my world, it is. It's like, as we know, they don't have the insanity defense available to
Hmm.
them in Idaho. So that wasn't going to be anything that they could use. They do have that one exception that they carved out in terms of, you know, him not being capable of forming the intent to commit the crimes because of a mental defect. I haven't seen anything with respect to Pryor filing anything with respect to that, meaning,
Hmm.
you know, if they would have brought him to or had him evaluated by a forensic psychologist or psychiatrist who would have said, yeah, Lori had like woven this spell over him and he was not able to comport his behavior to the law, that he bought into this entire concept that the kids were demons, that they weren't even humans anymore, which was really, like, in terms of the Lori Vallow trial, was a fascinating aspect to Allison and I when we covered that, and we covered it pretty extensively on our
Hmm.
podcast. It it would have been the defense,
Yeah.
with her, that she actually believed that these were no longer her children, that they weren't humans, that they were merely vessels, like the bodies are just vessels, and that they were some form of demon.
Hmm.
That she wasn't killing her children or what she viewed as a human being,
Yeah.
that she was, y you know, releasing her children's souls by killing the demon that was
Sure.
inhabiting their you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, it's a crazy argument, but I don't necessarily know that it's not true. Like, I mean, she's warped, you
Yeah, I
know?
mean, and it's one thing with her arguing it because you can really go and look at her and yeah, she really does believe this, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Is it more of a stretch though to say she said these things and then Chad bought it as well? He doesn't seem to be the one that's buying so much. I don't know, into, but he's also one of these people who presented half of these ideas to her through his uh, whatever his prophecies or whatever you want to call it, his delusions. It's really what it is. And then it kind of goes down this road of, okay, well, did you believe these things when you said these things to her, and then she went down these roads and started truly believing them, what is that? I mean, it almost seems like even a further stretch to think that Chad Daybell believed these things as well.
I I see, that was the eternal debate between Allison and I.
Hmm.
I had Lori as the puppet master, that
Hmm.
she was searching, going through, multiple husbands, looking for that person that would basically get her to where she needed to be with respect to, this is what my theory is
Hmm.
in terms of what's going to be happening. And she found Chad. She had seen his books. She then took his broad concepts and tailored to what she already believed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it was her reading his books and then she's like, "Oh my god, like, he knows the answer." I think it was the other way around.
Really.
She had always, like, because you could see from various things that she had said in the past that she had that belief system long before she even met Chad,
Hmm.
in terms of, like, he brought to the table the darkness scale, but she tailored it
Yeah.
to, exactly what she needed it to be. If he came with a number, "Oh, well, that, JJ's a 4.3 on the darkness scale," Lori'd be like, "Yeah, I think he's closer to like a 7." You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, it was like she was running the game, man.
Yeah.
Like Chad Dumbbell was not running the game,
Hmm.
like, any part of it. So the question becomes, would any jury buy the fact that he was so under her spell that he wasn't able to comport his behavior to the law? there's no way that a jury's buying. I mean, he's going down on this thing.
Yeah.
There is zero chance of him winning that case at trial. And frankly, I don't know what their defense is. Like
Yeah.
the defense that, Lori made me do it. It's not a defense.
Like,
I mean, he
and
committed the crimes, right? It's like
yeah.
it's
I
the
mean,
same as if somebody pays somebody to
yeah.
conduct a hit.
When that document was filed, that motion was filed a while back, stating, Lori made me do it. I mean, was it a motion or just a statement? I don't even remember. It was a couple months ago where it
It was
was
a it's like an affirmative defense or some
okay.
form of defense notice
What
of the
was
defense.
that an attempt at maybe trying to get some sort of a plea deal by putting that out there? Because it's again, I go back to like you just admitted guilt in this. You just flat out said you did it. You or
Right.
at least you walked right up to the line and you're tipping your toe over it. And anyone with their right mind could say you just said you did it. Like this is destroying any defense you have. I mean,
Yeah.
what was the goal of that filing and those statements being made before trial for murder?
I mean, when it happened, I thought it was for that little exception I was talking
Yeah,
about that carved out the only mental defect kind of defense where that they won't be able that they can attack the intent aspect of the statute because homicide is an intentional act. You
yeah,
have to that the state has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that it was his intent to kill a human being
sure.
like that, and then that's just one of the elements that have to be proven in a homicide. And when that first came, I'm like, all right, I think that they're going to try the defense that I was suggesting that had Lori allowed her attorneys to do at her trial would have been the proper defense. But she just wouldn't allow for it. Like she was like, no, like this is what I believe. This trial is a joke. Like it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
All of this is coming to an end next month for us now
Yeah,
because like
yeah,
the end of days in her world is in
yeah,
March of this year,
yeah,
and and I'm good. Like I know I'm good. I'm one of the 100.
yeah,
I'm the chosen people. So, like and like so she wouldn't allow for them to do that. Chad realized that once when she went down, he's like, oh my god, I'm going down. So to be honest with you, I don't know. I
mhm,
don't know what their strategy was in terms of trying to bait the state into giving him an offer that takes death off the table is a distinct possibility. It doesn't mean that it was going to work,
mhm.
because the problem is when in Lori's trial, when they were punished, the state for slow playing getting the discovery over them, among other things, and the judge took the death penalty as an option off the table. It pretty much locked in stone that there was no way in hell that Chad was gonna get a plea on this thing.
Mhm.
It was like one of y'all is going down, and it's at this point, it's Chad.
Mhm.
I mean, he'll probably be the first guy. They'll probably run out of the serum for the lethal injection because I'm sure they're dying to use the firing squad out there, and
Yeah,
he'll probably be the first guy to die in front of a firing squad out there.
yeah,
Is the way that I see it. But like, yeah, like strategically, I don't know the answer to
yeah,
to why they basically would have made him essentially admit to the crimes. I mean, like
yeah.
I don't see what the play was
I
there.
mean, unless John Pryor also believes Lori's prophecy that, well, March is coming up, and what does any of it matter?
Look, man. I mean, it's like when you're talking about just the state of Utah, man, it's like there's a lot of Mormons out there, and there's all different varieties of the
Mhm.
religion. And obviously Lori and Chad had bastardized many of the concepts, but I mean, you're the judge himself,
Mhm.
like everybody who's like practicing Mormon, it's the
Yeah,
religion out
it
there.
is.
That's what
Is yeah,
people
it is what it
practice,
is.
so I mean, it's hard to know who's believing what,
Mhm.
but it was such a fascinating trial because it really was a cult in the sense that they had people that were buying what they were selling,
Yeah,
like holy, like with every ounce of their being, and then when it started to become obvious that, Lori was masterminding this play, it just all fell apart for him. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's
We will wait and we will
yeah, we'll wait
see.
and see. Like it'll make for an interesting trial, that's for sure.
Without a doubt. Hey, it's Tony Brueski. If you like the podcast, be sure to like, subscribe, and press that bell so you don't miss any of our updates on the cases we're following for you right here at the Hidden Killers podcast from True Crime Today. And thanks